Morning, campers. Yes, that sign is very true, because there was a camper through hiker here, name of Tater Tantrum, and he was going to sleep in a shelter. And then this morning, I get up and he was in a tent, and he needed to borrow my lighter this morning. He told me last night, "Can I borrow your lighter in the morning?" Sure. So I went to bring them a lighter, and I went into the shelter. I'm like, where is he? He's not in here. So he had tented instead. So I saw his light. It was still dark out. Breaking down his tent, I went over to say, "Hey, you still want the lighter?" "Oh yeah." He goes, "By the way, I just saw a bear." And I said, "Really, where?" He was about 10 yards away, sitting in the woods watching me. I was like, whoa. So I had to go to the privy, but I had my headlamp on bright and I was looking around. So there are bears in this area. And I thought this morning I heard something give a snort in the woods behind me. I thought it was a deer, because deer will do that. They'll go like that when they're, territorial or whatever. It could have been the bear though, who knows. But I'm out of here now. So today's my big day. Not looking forward to it. Got about a half mile back. About a half mile back to the AT from the shelter. Then it's 15.4 miles of hiking to the next shelter, which is also a half a mile off trail. So that's a total of 16.4 miles today. This is my last big mileage day. I have no more hikes that I'm aware of over 15 miles after today. And they're calling for rain later. Although the forecast keeps shifting, keeps changing later and later. And the percentage changes. So I don't know what to think, but I'm going to be ready for it. I'm going to be watching the sky real close. Hey, one thing I forgot to mention, I thought I'd give you a nice view while I talk. One thing I forgot to mention is that I'm above a mile in elevation. I camped over a mile in elevation, and all day today I'll be hiking over a mile in elevation. In fact, I'll be approaching 6,000 feet at a couple of points. I will be dipping below a mile twice briefly, but then climbing back up again over a mile. So that's going to work against me a little bit because the air's thinner and it's colder and it's windier. And as you can probably hear the wind, it might be this storm that's coming later today. So I'm going to keep moving, but thought I'd share this view with you. Hope you enjoy. Just checked my progress. I've been out for 2 hours and I've covered 4.3 trail miles, but I also covered that 0.4 mile walk back to the trail from the shelter. So it's really 4.7 miles in 2 hours, which is about 2.4 mile an hour average, which is amazing considering it's been a lot of uphill and I'm at elevation. The air's thinner, I'm having to breathe harder, and I've stopped to take some photos and videos and have a couple snacks. So I'm very pleased with that. If I can maintain a 2.2 mile an hour pace today, I'll get into camp between 3 and 4. Got to keep my breaks brief and just keep moving. I got one big break. The next shelter, which is about 3 miles, I'm going to hydrate, get more water, have my sit-down meal, which is nut butter and crackers, and then push on and just keep plugging away. I don't want to be caught in the rain at the end of the day, do all this hard hiking and then still get wet. I want to get there and stay dry. So, all right, fingers crossed. Okay, it's a little afternoon. Took a break at the ice water spring shelter. Spent a little longer than I thought I would, but had to filter water and eat. It's almost 3 miles, mostly downhill, to Newfound Gap, where I can drop off my trash. Oh my gosh, that's always exciting. You're getting rid of your trash. And they have restrooms there too. I may or may not use the restroom. But then it's about a 4.5 mile, mostly uphill push to the shelter. And then the shelter's like a half mile off trail. So, it's a little afternoon. I've got about 8 miles. I want to get there by 4 at the latest if I can. So I gotta push to do 2 miles an hour. That means uphill I can't really maintain 2 miles an hour the whole way. So that means I have to do more than 2 miles an hour on the way down to Newfound Gap. So that's my goal. Pick up some speed on the way down, and then do what I can on the way up. We'll see how I do. Newfound Gap. Crazy busy on a Sunday. This is the first time I've seen one of these. This is a special wire fence and a special grate that keeps wild boars out of an ecologically sensitive area. So, very interesting device. There's another one up ahead, and there's a sign here about the wild hogs. Mount Collins Shelter 0.7. Music to my ears. It's exactly 3 o'clock. The rain can start anytime in the next 2 hours. 0.7, 20 minutes or so. I don't know if that 0.7 means to the side trail that leads to the shelter, which is another half mile, or if it means a total of 0.7. In other words, 0.2 to the trail that leads, 0.5 to the shelter. But I guess I'm about to find out. Either way, I'm pretty happy. Mount Collins Shelter 0.5, so it was only 0.2 to this trailhead. Very happy with that. That saves me about 15 to 20 minutes of hiking. And even though it's 10 after 3, I usually stop for a break every hour on the hour. But I'm skipping my break until I get there because I didn't come all this way to get soaking wet in the last 15 minutes or so. So I want to get to the shelter, make sure I'm safe and sound and dry, and then have my snack. So I'm on a race now. It does feel like rain is coming. It's kind of cooled off, and there's a breeze coming through the trees. So it's coming in the next 2 minutes, 2 hours, who knows?